Welcome to RLCraft. In this video I try to survive in the hardest Minecraft mod pack there is. And before the video starts, make sure to follow me on Instagram as I'm giving away one copy of Minecraft Java Edition. The link will be in the description below. Enjoy. And on day 1, I spawned into RLCraft after dying so many times, and I actually spawned next to this little tiny village. So I started off the day by picking up a bunch of stones, because with these stones you can make cobblestone if you place them like a 2x2 in the crafting area. And there was also a bunch of trees that are already cut down because of the village that spawned next to them. So I didn't actually have to mine a bunch of leaves to get some sticks. So that was good. And after that I went into the village and looted, and luckily they had a bunch of food to start off, so I was pretty happy with that, and a saddle, so that would come in handy when I wanted to tame an animal. So like I said, with that stone I made some cobblestone, and then I made my first pick. And afterwards I went for a little stroll in the desert, and I came across this big lava pit, which was a bit weird, and then all of a sudden some animal, I don't know what it was, just started attacking me, and it was in the ground, so I was a bit worried. At first I actually thought it was invisible, so I just ran straight back to the village, and I thought, oh, it's okay, I'm fine now. So I just went and actually hid inside my room for a little second, just so I could see what happened. And then I went outside, and then there was a massive worm. Just a huge death worm, I think they're called. And I didn't know how to kill it, because this is RLCraft and it probably hits me once and I'm dead. So I had to play it very carefully here. I was hoping that my blue guys here would help me, but they did not at all. And then it hit me and it actually scared me a lot as well. So I ran straight back into my little home. And afterwards he decided to just stay at the front of my door, so I couldn't get out. So I decided to break my way free on the back side of my room, which would lead to the outside. So then I just proceeded to run away as far as I could, because I did not want to die by that thing. And also I needed some water as well, because I was getting low on water. But then I saw this water fountain, but next to it was a massive dragon. So yeah, I couldn't go that way either. And I was going to later find out that there's dragons everywhere. But after that I decided to mine some cobblestone and then get healed by a nymph. But then I went home to go sleep for the night, and the death worm was still there, but it still allowed me to sleep, so that was okay. And on day 2, I started off the day by watching the blue guys here kill that death worm finally after all that time. But after that, yeah, I decided to make myself a weapon. So I made myself a rapier, a stone rapier actually, which would come in very handy, of course, to try to kill some of these monsters. And also collected the coal that was in the ground. Afterwards, I decided to try to make my little home a little bit more safe, so I made 2 little doorways here. And to make wood planks, actually, what you need to do is place down some logs, and you also need an axe. So I did craft an axe, but yeah, you need to place down some logs, and then you need to crouch and right-click the top of the logs, and it will make some planks. I didn't know that at first, actually, you had to look up a tutorial. But yeah, then I just placed 2 more doors there, and then I was actually kind of safe. Until I decided to go to the monster tower, or the battle tower. I'm not sure what they call this, but I think it's a battle tower. I'm not too sure. But yeah, there's a bunch of spawners in here with mobs that spawn. But luckily this one had loads of holes in it, so the mobs wouldn't spawn. So I just broke the first 2 spawners, which gave me 8 levels. Actually, it was pretty awesome. So I went straight to leveling up my stats. So I done mining first, because I thought it'd help with getting some iron and stuff like that. But then yeah, there was a blaze that spawned, which was kind of scary, because I didn't know how much damage they do in RLCraft. But after that, I decided to get a bunch of blocks so that I could actually just pillar up to the top, or to each level on the outside, and hopefully break the spawners from the outside. And that did work at first. Yeah, it worked pretty well. But then the blaze is a bit of a problem, so I actually had to give that up pretty soon. But yeah, I went to the second level and just got all of these, and I got my first diamonds as well by mining the spawners. And yes, after that, of course, I used up all my levels just in case I died. So that was an occurring theme, is where as soon as I got some levels, I'd just spend them straight away in upgrading something, just in case I died. But after that, I decided to go 1 more level higher. And this one was a little bit scarier, because I could hear all the ghasts up there. And then when I saw one, I was like, nope, I'm out of here. I just went straight back down and started mining this little pile of coal, not coal, of andesite. Yeah, and it had loads of iron in it, but it was also glitched. I couldn't actually go to the iron, which was a pain. So I quickly gave up on that iron as well. But I did mine the iron that was inside the village. And on day 3, I prepared to go back to the battle tower. That's what we're going to call it. We're going to call it the battle tower. So I took a few blocks and went straight back there. But I only actually broke one spawner. And then I decided to leave because I saw some more blazes. So I didn't want to die. But after that, I decided to break this netherrack. I was going to turn this into my little water source area, so I can just keep drinking from here, just to make it easier for myself. And after that, I actually made a shield, because this shield would come in very handy to do the battle towers. Any shield is actually. You can just make a really simple shield like that, and then it will protect you from projectiles. And then we got some more diamonds as well by mining another spawner. And after that, yeah, I did fall through a little hole in the floor, and it actually scared me so much. I thought something attacked me for a second. But yeah, I gradually made my way right to the top, and there was so many more spawners. So this was good because I was getting loads of levels. And actually some more diamonds as well, so that was pretty awesome. I got about 4 diamonds, I think, in total. Oh no, I think it was 5, yeah. 5 diamonds in total. And I made it to the top. I was really happy. I was expecting a boss up here, but there wasn't. So a bit disappointed with that. And at the end of day 3, I used up all my levels into my stats as usual. And then I emptied my inventory and I started a little mine shaft that would go right down to diamond level. And on day 4, I started to actually go mining a little bit more. And this was probably one of the scariest things about RLCraft was the mining. But eventually, I actually did break my pickaxe before making it to diamond level. So I went back to the top and made myself a iron pick. And after that, I went to explore and I killed my first monsters in RLCraft, which were these things called jousts, I think they were called. These actually come in handy in the future, but I didn't know that until like late in the video. But after that, yeah, I went a bit more exploring and I killed some of these chickens because I needed chicken so that I could make some avian treats. And with them avian treats, you can actually tame some creatures in this. But I did find another monster tower as well, so I decided to do that. And that zombie, I can't tell you how much it scared me. I saw that zombie, I just ran away. And this was when I learned that the red jousts are the ones that are really aggressive. If you don't hit the other ones, they don't actually attack you either. But after that, I spent all my levels into upgrading my stats again. Oh yeah, and of course I had to steal the villager's treasure. The little gold block that they had, it was mine. And after that, I decided to do a little bit of mining and try to get to diamond level. And that was pretty much it for day 4. And on day 5, I came across this creature here, which was stuck in a tree. So that was a pretty easy kill. But after that, yeah, I went straight back to the battle tower and I decided to try to make my way to the top and hopefully manage to do it. And I'm not going to lie, guys, it was pretty simple because I'm guessing because it was daytime and there was so many holes on the sides, there was no monsters that actually spawned, so I could just make my way to the top. But eventually, of course, there would be a little jump scare in RLCraft. A skeleton just spawned on top of me and actually headshot me as well. So that was a pretty close call, that was. But after that, yes, I healed my head and I made my way to the top because we was only 1 floor down pretty much, and I went straight to the top and there was 2 more free spawners to break, which would give me a bunch more loot and a bunch more XP, which was the main reason why I was doing these battle towers. And unfortunately afterwards though, I came across this guy at the bottom of the tower. I thought, oh, that's an easy kill, and then it turned out it wasn't. And yeah, he hit me a bunch of times and bit my head off and killed me. That was my first death of the series. But soon after, I just went back there with a iron sword, and I was struggling to find him, actually. I thought he was gone, but then I found all my loot. So I thought, oh, that's cool. It's alright. At least I didn't lose my loot. It didn't despawn. So I managed to gear myself back up, and then eventually I would find him. But there was also a skeleton that had all my stuff. He had my sword and my shield. I did not even know that skeletons could pick up your stuff. So that was a bit shocking at first. And after that scare, I decided to patch myself in a little hole like this so I could heal myself up. But eventually I made my way back to the top and I saw a little wing sticking by. And I realised it was him. I managed to get a few hits on him, but then I ran away because he was giving me nausea again. And that thing is so annoying, the nausea. But then he chased me down. But eventually, I actually managed to defeat him, which was good. And a bit worrying as well at the same time. I thought I was going to die again then. And after that, I ran straight back home and went to bed. And on day 6, after all of that, I decided to craft myself some iron armor. So it would actually, hopefully, help me to not die so easily. So I made myself a helmet and a chest plate because those are the main areas that you want to protect in RLCraft. But after that, I wanted to make some pants and I realized I did not have enough. So instead, I made some boots. And afterwards, I went to mine some more iron. And do you remember when I said mining is the scariest thing in RLCraft? This is why. And after that, I decided to not go mining anymore and just kill some chickens. Because that was a bit scary. That was the first time I came across that mob in the game. And yeah, it was very, very scary. But I came across this tree that had some apples as well. So that was pretty cool. And afterwards, I just went straight back home to end off the night there. And on day 7, I started off the day by just using up all my levels as usual. I was upgrading my building and stuff like that. And then eventually I found this little ladder that led down to something. So I decided to go down there. And yeah, it was one of the biggest regrets of my life because I saw these guys, which are actually not too deadly, I guess. But then something just attacked me out of nowhere and I had no idea what it was. So I went, nope, I am going straight back up to the surface. But right next to the dungeon, I found this little thing here, and I'm guessing it was a teleporter. I wasn't too sure, but then after that, I got a nymph to heal me, and I went on a little bit of an exploration. And I found this little village over here. It was like a little castle, which was pretty awesome. And I found this little hut as well, which looked like one of my first builds that I'd done when I first started Minecraft, to be honest. But without the zombies. And I wasn't going to complain because it was a bunch of free XP. And I decided to also loot the village, which didn't have much, just had a bunch of food. And after that, I came across this guy. So yeah, we had another dragon next to our village. And after that, I decided to mine this little pile of emeralds just to get a bunch more XP. Which was actually a pretty cool find because it gave me a bunch of XP. And with that XP, I decided to upgrade some more of my stats. So I got some attack in and also some magic. After that, I decided to make my way home, and I was actually going to spend a night outside because I wanted to find some ender pearls so I could make a summoning staff. And this was a pretty awful experience, to be honest, because there was so many mobs outside and so many weird ones that would attack me from a distance. After that, I came across this like ninja guy that kept throwing me some shurikens, but eventually killed me. So yeah, that was pretty sad. Oh yeah, and whilst running back, this happened. After that, I went back with a sword and I came across this enderman actually, so I tried to kill him, but unfortunately he did not give me a ender pearl. But eventually I got all my stuff back, and yeah, that was pretty good. And all I had to do was kill these two little creepers that were chilling right next to my loot, and actually one of them dropped a sword. So he gave me like a bronze lance, which was pretty cool. It was only slightly better than my iron sword though. And after that, I actually tamed my first animal. So I got myself a Venturaptor, which was so cool to have, actually. I was really stoked about getting this. And of course, the first thing I had to do was just go for a little runabout with him, and it was so cool. And with my lance as well, I was just going past and just hitting stuff for fun. But after, I could not figure out how to get off him, which was a pain, but eventually I managed to get it. And on day 8 to 9, I used up all my levels and upgraded all of my skills again. And eventually, I finally took all my iron that I had and made some iron leggings, which were pretty awesome, actually. After I saw these two guys fighting, so I thought, oh, I'm going to help out and try to kill one. Guess what? They both attacked me in the end. So I died. Again. After that, I decided to try to attack another one when he was on his own because he probably won the battle, so I'm guessing he killed the other one. But I led him straight towards the village, and I wasn't expecting him to get over the barrier, but he did. So I could actually hit him, though, from inside my door, which was pretty safe, and I eventually killed him. After that, a rock picked me up and just took me right into the sky, which was a bit worrying because I was scared he was going to let go of me. And yeah, guess what he did? He let go of me. But guess what? Your boy managed to clutch it and do an MLG bucket. Yeah, you saw that, you saw that. And after healing myself, I came across this guy. I was going to go kill him, and guess what? He just blew me up in one go. But actually, he despawned somehow, or I'm guessing the other guys killed him. But I decided to go and roam around because I was trying to look for some more animals that I could tame. So I managed to tame another raptor, but I was getting attacked by this scorpion, which I'd never seen as well. So that was pretty worrying because that thing was fast as hell. And this night was becoming one of the most hectic nights of RLCraft, I think, because everything was happening so quickly. So eventually, my raptor actually killed the scorpion, but I went back home and came across this guy, which just killed me in like 2 hits. And yes, he blew up all my chests as well, so that was not good. So I had all my loot, I was all on the floor, whilst this guy was still inside my base, and he killed me again. But eventually my pets and also the blue guys managed to kill him, and he actually dropped a bunch of XP, so I used all of that XP up straight away in upgrading my skills again, so a bunch of defense and attack and all of that good stuff. And after all of that hectic night, I actually had to pick up all my loot again and patch up a little hole because he actually blew a hole as well into my walls. And I came across this little guy that stole most of my loot as well. I did not know that there was some mobs that can steal your loot. And I also got hit by something and I had no idea what it was until I saw this guy in the sky. And my rock actually took him, which I tamed in the night of that hectic battle. But yeah, after that I decided to take my rock for a little ride. And after that, I decided to upgrade my arsenal. So I decided to make a iron sword this time, but I was going to make even a better one. So what I wanted to do is make a iron greatsword, which would come in a lot handy. I realized that these were one of the most deadliest weapons in the game. And after that, I actually decided to travel a bit with my rock. I wanted to fly around to see what there was around us, and I came across this little village, and I didn't actually even see the 2 dragons in there. So I was going straight to the village, and I was about to run straight into 2 dragons, which would have been terrible. And I also checked out this tower that was in the desert right next to my house, and it's actually nothing, it's just empty. But then I came across this little temple that had a staircase going right to the bottom, so I wanted to go check it out, but unfortunately, I forgot my pickaxe, so I couldn't actually go inside. But yeah, they had some like zombies with some shields and armor in there. But after that, I just went straight back home, and I actually died to a skeleton which headshot me. So yeah, that was pretty sad. So I actually killed the skeleton and also had to kill this creeper. And then I got all my stuff back, and I went straight to bed. And that was it for day 8 to 9. On day 10, I killed a zombie which was inside the battle tower right next to my house, because I could hear him from my house. I decided to kill him. And after that, I came across this thing. I have no idea what it was. It was like a big, I don't know, it was like a big bird with massive wings, and every time you'd hit it, it would actually block his face. But when it would hit you, it would give you weight, so you couldn't actually jump up 1 block high, so it was really annoying. It was a really annoying mob to fight, and it was added a lot of health as well. So I was fighting this guy for a very long time. And after that, he had a little friend, a little blue guy like this that was just chasing me, and he headshot me and killed me as well. So after that, I tried to take care of the little blue guy, but he was still doing a bit of damage. But the problem is, at this point, for some reason, my game was spazzing out and I kept getting a bunch of freezes. So it wasn't very easy at all to try to kill this guy. And he also poisons you. And after a massive struggle of trying to get my stuff back and kept dying, I finally managed to get some of my stuff, and I tried to get this guy trapped in the trees, which actually did work out really well. So then I managed to get my stuff, and whilst he was trapped in the trees, after I got all my stuff, I managed to hit him through the little leaves, so he couldn't actually hit me back, so that was pretty awesome. But eventually he managed to find his way around the trees, but I still managed to win the battle and kill him. I had also found a little backpack, and I thought it looked extremely cool. I thought it would be really good if you had these in vanilla as well. So I placed that backpack down, and then I came across this guy, like the blue guy's little friend, which was extremely annoying as well. This one wasn't doing so much damage, but I just realized that all I had to do was block his attack when he attacked me, and then I could attack him back. And on day 11 to day 18, I had gotten fed up with living with the villagers over there, so I decided to go make my own house, and I found this old ruin, which I actually transformed into my house. Oh yeah, and I also had one of my most embarrassing deaths I think I've ever had in a game. I died to a tree. And after that embarrassing death, I decided to continue on my house. But I also ran out of stone bricks really quickly, but I remembered that the dungeon had a bunch around it, so I went over there and actually got all the stone bricks from there. And I managed to start on my roof. And on day 19 to 21, I came across another one of these little annoying guys, but this one was easy to kill. But after that, I decided to go mining for a little bit. And as you guys know, mining in RLCraft is not fun at all, because you always get these little jump scares, and I was always worried about getting one of those jump scares again. But I eventually came across these guys, and they actually dropped ender pearls. And if you guys remember, I was looking for ender pearls for a while, so I could finally make a summoning staff. So I went straight to the top, and that's exactly what I'd done. I made a summoning staff. And of course, after I crafted that, I had to go and try it out. But unfortunately, like it was daytime, there wasn't any mobs around, so I just tested it outside my house. But of course, when it hit nighttime though, I went outside and used it on a bunch of mobs, which I realized how useful it was going to be, because I could just send these guys in and I could just sit back, relax, and just watch the action happen. But after that, I went home and I wasn't even paying attention, and this guy just attacked me out of nowhere and gave me Plague 2, which was actually doing quite a bit of damage. But this is when I decided to properly test out my blue guys, but unfortunately ran away. But they decided to attack something else, which I had no idea what it was, to be fair. And on day 22 to 24, I came across the guy that attacked me the night before, so I quickly dealt with him. And after that, I decided to actually upgrade my shield and make a iron shield. So after having all of these upgrades, I thought, okay, let's go to the dungeon and we're going to clear it all out. And I thought it was a good idea at first, especially when I just launched these guys in and they attacked everything. I thought, oh yeah, this is easy. I could do this very easily. And unfortunately, I was very wrong with that. Not too long after, a bunch of mobs just spawned out of nowhere and it all went to hectic. And after that death, I decided to craft another summoning staff and I went straight back down there to try and collect all of my loot. After collecting all my loot, I went straight back up to the surface and geared back up because I thought it was a smart idea to go back down there. So I went back down there, but there was only one skeleton and this guy. So I tried to attack him, then the skeleton hit me in the face and it scared me. So I decided to go straight back to the surface. But the bat guy, I don't know what it was to be fair, just shooting fireballs at me. And it actually followed me up the ladder, which I didn't know he could. And guess who had the bright idea to go back there a third time? Me. I went back down there a third time, and this time there was like 4 creepers waiting for me. And I didn't want to shoot them or go near them because I didn't want them to blow up the ladder so I couldn't get back up. So I tried to attack them, but then one of them had a special effect. And then all the mobs in RLCraft decided to all come attack me at once. So at this point I was getting blown up by stuff which I didn't even know existed, and then I just died to a zombie. But I went back down there and got all of my stuff, and this time I said, that is it, I am not coming back down here for a while. So I actually went back up to the surface and I didn't come back down. And after managing to pick up all my loot, them guys spawned, so that really did scare me. I thought I was going to die another time, but eventually I managed to get home and go to sleep and end the day. And on day 25 to 26, I saw a video where you could actually get XP from farming, so I decided to make myself a little crop farm next to my new house. And whilst exploring at the beginning of the world, I remembered seeing some bone blocks. So I decided to take my raptor and I went to go and collect a bunch of bone blocks so I can transform it into bone meal and then bone meal all myself. But I quickly realized that I did not have enough levels for that. So I decided to go to the battle tower and try to take it on, but I came across this thing which I had no idea what it was at first. So I just thought it was just some black stone, like a special black stone, and it also had a diamond at the surface, so that was pretty awesome, a free diamond. And I decided to break a hole in the floor and just spawning a bunch of my blue guys here, and unfortunately at first they wouldn't go down until I made the hole a little bit bigger, and then they actually did go down in the end, so that was a pretty easy way to do it. So yeah, I was just pretty much spawning in my blue guys and they would just go down there and eventually kill most of them until this happened, which I had no idea what it was. I just got flinged up in the air for no reason. So I thought there was something invisible, so I started hitting, but there was actually nothing there. It was just a special zombie that would just fling me up in the sky. But eventually I managed to kill most of the zombies, but of course it was getting nighttime, so I decided to go back home. And on day 27, I decided to go back to the battle tower and I came across this guy, so I killed him. And yeah, I just went straight back into the battle tower and tried to get a bit more XP because I still needed a few more levels so I could use the bone meal. So I'd done the same technique as before, I just spawned them in on top of me. But then I didn't realise that some of them were coming up from the top of the stairs. And there was so many mobs in here, and when I mean so many, I mean like a lot. And it was taking forever just to get down to the second level. And most of them kept following me up here, so I could actually just kill them one by one, so it wasn't too hard. But eventually, a lot of them just spawned, so I decided to run away for a little bit and watch them all burn from a distance, because it's a lot easier to kill them that way. And after that, I decided to spawn in a bunch more of my blue guys, just to try to finish off the skeletons. And in RLCraft, after a while, the spawners actually break if they spawn too many mobs, so that's what I was trying to do, is just try to spawn as many as I could, and hopefully kill off all the skeletons until the spawners broke. Afterwards, I decided to go check out that black thing that was on top of the surface, that black stone, and I realised that it was a dragon's lair. So I decided to quickly get out there, and I went straight back home. And on day 28 to 29, I finally had enough levels to do some farming. So I bone milled most of my crops, and I realized that this is actually a good way to get some XP. And I also worked on my base a little bit and also a bit more farming. And after that, the rest of the time I just spent transferring all my loot to my new house. And on day 30 to 37, I spent most of that time building a XP farm, which was going to come in really handy just to level up so I can actually wear some diamond armor and all that. So yeah, I just took a random tutorial off the internet for RLCraft, and it was a very simple build. But after that, I just spent most of the time AFK at the XP farm. This XP farm would work really well. The only problem is you get the odd one that could actually hit you, and sometimes you would get a actual mob that would spawn after you killed. So it was kind of annoying, that part, but if not, yeah, it was giving us loads of XP, which was awesome. But yes, eventually I had the little problem with this guy spawning, and he actually would like fling me up in the sky if he actually managed to get a hold of me, which was a pain. But eventually he managed to actually kill me in one hit. But with my blue guys, it was no big problem. I just managed to get my loot back, and I went straight back to farming. But yes, I was spending all of my levels in just upgrading all of my stats, so I managed to get my defense up really, really high. And eventually 2 of these guys spawned, and this was a bit scary as well because they were just flinging me all about, and I just couldn't do anything. So I managed to take my ender pearl and just throw it across, and I managed to get home that way. And then my blue guys just finished them off for me. And after that, I managed to get these hearts, which allow you to have some extra hearts for your health. And mine actually managed to go onto my head, which was perfect. And on day 38 to 39, I smelted up some food because I was running pretty low on food at this point. And then I went to get a bit more levels just so I could level up some other stuff. And after that, this weird spider spawned outside, and it was like poisoning me from extremely far away, and it was also exploding. But my blue guys managed to deal with him really quickly. And after I went to a nearby village which had a dragon not too far, I could hear it from inside, which was actually a bit terrifying. But I wanted just to get the bookshelf so I can actually set up a enchanting setup underneath my house. And with our new XP farm, we was going to be able to enchant very easily. And after getting all the bookshelves, I went straight back home and started on making my enchanting room. And on day 40, I didn't really do much. I just done a bit of XP farming and some enchanting. And I crafted myself a diamond pickaxe and I enchanted it. And unfortunately, I only got efficiency 4 on it. And afterwards, I decided to jump off a tower with my raptor just to finish off the day. And on day 41 to 42, I crafted myself a ring thinking it would do like something really cool. And just to find out that all it done was give me night vision. So yeah, that was a bit of a waste. And after that is when it started getting a bit annoying because it was getting really hot. I think it was like becoming midsummer at this point. And yeah, as soon as I'd done something, I'd just start burning to death. So after that, I decided to go and mine a little bit. And I actually came across another dragon's lair. And yeah, this was a little bit worrying because that means there was 2 dragon's lairs right next to me. But yeah, eventually I found a little cave, but there wasn't much in it apart from this little guy, so I managed to kill him, and then that was pretty much it for day 41 to 42. And on day 43 to 44, I decided to craft myself a new helmet because my one broke. And yeah, it gave me a little bit of decent armor as well. And also I needed some new boots because my other ones were about to break as well. After that, I decided to go and explore a bit the map, like try to go a little bit further. And I came across like this massive mansion thing, which was pretty awesome. But of course, like it was midsummer, I was starting to die of hypothermia. But inside this mansion was pretty good. I found 6 diamonds, and also there was a bunch of enchanted books on the last level. I think it was like meant to be like the master bedroom or something. So it had 2 looting 2 books and Aqua Infinity and another Fortune 2 book as well. And on the way home I came across this dragon skeleton, which was pretty awesome. So I decided to sleep in a nearby village, but this guy spawned as soon as I tried to go into my bed, which was a bit of a pain. And he kept going through the walls as well, so I just spawned in a bunch of my blue guys and then went to sleep. Oh, and I found another teleporter, so I'd be able to teleport back here when I want. And before going back home, I decided to harvest the dead dragon. So it gave me a bunch of dragon bones, which I'd be able to make some tools with it. And for some reason, my raptor decided to fly across the whole map. And then I made my way home to make a clock, and it told me that it was midsummer, so that was the reason why it was so hot. Afterwards, I decided to make a dragon bone greatsword to end off the day. And on day 45, I went to look for my raptor because for some reason he wasn't outside the front door where I left him. So I went all the way to the desert thinking that maybe, I don't know, when I got off him, he teleported backwards. But then I went straight back home and he was just there right outside the front door. And of course, like it was midsummer, I had to go and cool off inside my house. Shortly after though, I decided to go back to that village in the desert because I didn't actually loot it. So I went to go and loot it and there was a bunch of books in it, so that was pretty cool. And I thought these were enchanted books, but then I realised they weren't. It was just a book that was been written in. And then in this little pen here, there was this guy chilling and I thought it was a sheep at first, and then he started to attack me and I realised it wasn't. So then after that, I decided to go straight back home to end off the day. And on day 46, I decided to go and travel quite fast. I took a bed with me, and for some reason I just caught on fire all of a sudden. I didn't know why, but I was guessing it was maybe because of a dragon. Because there was a bunch of dragon nearby, and my raptor died, so that was sad. And I fell into this hole where there was a creeper as well, so he almost killed me. And yeah, after that I had to cool off again because I was burning, especially I was in a desert, so it was even hotter than before. Then after, on my way home, I got attacked by a griffin. This was nighttime in RLCraft and I was by foot, so it was going to be a problem to try to get back home. And I was trying to fight this guy off, then my blue guys tried to help me. But unfortunately, it was a little bit too late for them to help me because I died. And not to the griffin, to a crypt creeper, which I had no idea what that was. And on day 47 to 55, I decided to just gear up a little bit with all the leftover pieces of gear that I had. And then I decided to go AFK most of the time just to get some more levels so that I can actually use some other tools. And of course, I died whilst doing that. After that, I decided to just craft myself some more gear. So I crafted myself a better sword to try to actually get some XP that way, which actually turned out a lot better. And on day 56, for some reason, I decided to try to go back down into the dungeon. But my aim was to try to patch up all the lava pits and place some torches, but of course that didn't work out. I died straight away. But I quickly went back down there with some more torches, and I tried to torch most of it up as I possibly could. And also to get most of my gear back. Well, some of it fell into lava, but I managed to get some of it back anyway. And on day 57 to 59, I decided to finish off my roof. But that wasn't going to happen easily, not in RLCraft, of course not. Because this happened.
Arachnophobia! 8-legged terrors! Ha ha ha!
So yeah, just a bunch of spiders, scorpions, and whatever the hell RLCraft decides that is a bit like a spider, well, exists outside my house now. So they were just everywhere. I couldn't do anything. If I tried going outside, I'd just die straight away. I tried to kill him from inside my house, but for some reason they could reach me and I couldn't reach them, so that was pretty annoying. So I decided to just put all my stuff away and try to run out and try to lead him away from my house. But look what happened as soon as I tried to get out. I just got absolutely destroyed. And like I didn't actually have time to finish my roof, I decided to spawn in a bunch of my blue guys on the top of my roof, but they didn't really help that much. And then I tried to escape, but again, there was a scorpion blocking me. But eventually I managed to get out and I died like instantly outside my door. Oh yeah, I also crafted this. Even though I had no idea what it was used for, I still crafted it. And on day 60, when everything calmed down, I managed to finally finish building my roof. And I also came across these guys that are just playing catch with their ball. At least it was peaceful enough to do that now. I also did a little tiny bit of mining, but nothing really happened. And at the end of day 60, I also started on a little mine in my base. And on day 60 to 63, I started off by crafting some more armor because, as you know, I did die not too long ago and I had no more armor. I only had some leather armor in my chest, which I didn't want to use. And after that, I decided to just go start mining in my new mine. And I quickly came across a cave, so I decided to go down inside it and try to find stuff, but there wasn't much in there, so I quickly went back up to the surface. And these boots had like a little special ability that I didn't have to have staircases on one block high things, so it was pretty much just like having a staircase the whole way. But when I went back down, there was a zombie here, so I decided to kill him and then torch it up. And while strip mining, I came across this lava pool, and there was something that burnt me. Even though I couldn't see it, it still managed to burn me. And of course, RLCraft is nothing with a little bit of a jump scare. This guy absolutely scared the hell out of me. I was so scared when that happened. And for some reason, my bow was spazzing out and it wouldn't actually work. And yeah, I tried to run away and kill him from far, but guess what? He still killed me. I quickly went back down there with a iron sword and I managed to kill him pretty easily. And I managed to get all my stuff back with no problem. And whilst mining at diamond level, I didn't really find much, but I did find some lapis, which was pretty awesome because I actually ran out of lapis at this point. So yeah, that was pretty handy. Oh yeah, and I came across this guy in the middle of a strip mine, and for some reason he kept dragging me into him. I tried placing a water bucket down thinking it would push him back. It didn't. He just went straight through that, but eventually I killed him. And shortly after, I found some diamonds. I was pretty happy at this point. I managed to find some diamonds finally, and it was a vein of 8 as well. And on day 64, I started off the day by crafting some armor. So I made a diamond helmet and a diamond chest plate because I was going to need to protect my head and my chest the most as possible. After that, I decided to get a bunch of XP so that I can enchant my stuff, and I also ate a bit of sneaky cake. And this was a very sad part of the series because I accidentally enchanted my sword lesser sharpness 5 because I thought it actually said sharpness 5. So yeah, I was pretty sad with that. But at least I got Burning Thorns 3 on my chest plate, which is actually a really good enchant. And I also got Physical Protection 2 on my helmet. And that was it for day 64. And on day 65 to 66, I went straight back down to mining. And of course, you know, mining without a jump scare is never going to happen. So I got jump scared again. But this time I managed to kill this guy pretty easily. And I found some heart crystal shards, which would come in extremely handy to get that extra bit of health for the dragon. So I went straight back home and crafted myself a new heart. After that, at night time, I tried to tame this rock, but a creeper killed it. So that was a bit annoying. But actually another one tried to grab me straight after, so I managed to tame him instead. Oh, and I also got myself another raptor. And on day 67, I sat next to a nymph so it can actually heal me because it was pretty hectic from the night before. And after that, I decided to try and go and kill a dragon that was sleeping, but unfortunately, a bunch of rocks kept coming up and trying to kill me. And also, the tames that I spawned did not attack him at all. Like, the dragon was just chilling there, sleeping, and my guys were not helping me at all. So I tried to hit him myself, and then, I woke him up, and it did actually scare me quite a bit. So I decided to run away very quickly. And on day 68 to 71, I just threw around with my rock a little bit just to look around my world to see what there was. And after that, I decided to cut down a tree to get a bit of wood. After that, I decided to explore a little bit with my rock, and I came across this ant's nest, which I had never seen yet, and they were carrying a bit of cactus, so I thought that was really cool. And all of this, by the way, was recorded live on my channel, so make sure to come and say hi. After that, I came across this floating platform in the middle of the ocean, and I decided to go loot it. And guess what? I came across an enchanted book that was named after me, Jagged Rake 2. And after that, like my live stream recommended, is that I went to go and do some battle towers because that's the best way to get diamonds, because that was the main problem we had with this world was diamonds. So I tried to attack it from far with my blue guys, but it kept blowing them up, so it wasn't really working. And I also had all these tornado guys that would spawn in. But unfortunately, the guy actually blew up all the loot, so after that I decided to just leave and go back home. And on day 72, I wanted to go mining. So I went mining, and the first thing that would happen was I got attacked by a monster straight away as soon as I got into that mine. And I actually didn't even get that much mining done because it was getting pretty late and I was getting tired at this point. And I tried to go back home, and all of a sudden there was another guy in the staircase. And on day 73 to 75, I really didn't do much. I just done a bunch of XP farming and leveling up my stats. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I did not do much at all. And I also did get myself an extra heart though. And on day 76 to 77, I decided to go mining again because I ran out of iron as well. So I was mining my iron peacefully, and of course this would happen straight away. So I ran away and I realized, oh, he's not chasing me. So I tried to get my summoning staff out, but all of a sudden he was right there in front of me, and that made me panic a lot. So I tried to spawn in my blue guys, but unfortunately they did not really help me at all. So I had to try to kill it myself. Oh yeah, and if this wasn't enough for the mining session, this happened as well. And the best part of all of this is that this guy actually picked up all of my stuff. So he had diamond armor and a greatsword with him. So I tried to spawn in a bunch of my blue guys, but yeah, that did not work out at all. And yeah, at this point I really thought all my stuff was gone because I just could not kill this guy because he had burning thorns as well as an enchantment. But eventually I managed to block him off and I managed to kill him that way. And after that I crafted myself a extra heart, and it actually gave me an extra heart on my head, so that was really good. And that was pretty much it for day 77. And on day 78 to 79, I've done a bit of XP farming because I wanted to get Fortune 3, which I've got a really good mining pickaxe. So I got Unbreaking 3 and Advanced Efficiency on it, and it was very, very good pickaxe. But after that, I really wanted to get a Fortune, so I went back to XP farming. Of course, there was one of these guys that spawned, and he was throwing me everywhere. And I thought I was going to die at this point. I really did. But luckily, my blue guys actually managed to save me from this, and I managed to also get enough to craft another heart. After that, I enchanted a bit and I got a powerful bow, which was pretty awesome. And also I managed to combine my powerful bow with an arrow recovery book. And then I combined it with a Unbreaking 3 one. And on day 80 to 81, I built a massive gravel tower so I can actually get a bunch of flint to make some arrows, because we're running extremely low on arrows. And also I needed to find some chickens because I didn't have any feathers to make the actual arrows. Unfortunately though, I could not find any chickens at all. And on day 82, I actually managed to get a Fortune 3 pickaxe. So I went straight to mining, and I forgot I had this really good pickaxe on me that mined so quickly. But as soon as I went back to the surface, I realized there was this, I don't know what it was to be fair, it was like a small dragon kind of thing that kept attacking all my animals. So I tried to go save it by taming it, but unfortunately it could not be tamed with these treats anyway. So unfortunately I tried to kill it before it killed my animals, but unfortunately a creeper snuck up behind me and exploded. And it also spawned in this other guy that kept exploding. I had no idea what he was doing, so I ran away and I realized behind me that they actually killed my raptor. So I just ran back inside, and that was it for day 82. And on day 83 to 85, of course, I had to go and do a bit more XP farming to try to enchant some other stuff. So I actually enchanted my shield, which I didn't know you could at the time. And I also got some warming books because I thought it'd come in handy when it became winter. And after that, I had to go mining for the rest of the time because I needed diamonds, of course, because I still only had 2 armor pieces that were made out of diamond. But of course, I came across a bunch of mobs. And then whilst I was getting all this stuff, I decided to run back to go start mining somewhere else. And all of a sudden, I got attacked by something, which I had no idea what it was or where it was, until I realized that it was just on my leg and actually drinking the blood out of me. On day 86 to 87, I decided to try something different to try to get some diamonds. So I went to these 2 towers and I decided to go loot them. And I quickly got fed up of trying to go through the main entrance, so I decided to just pillar my way up to the top. It'd be a lot easier. And then I made myself to this little area, which had a bunch of gold on the floor, like they have in the little dragon's nests. So I went inside here quickly, and I went to destroy the first spawner I saw. And then I made my way up to the last level, and I realized there was already a diamond block here, and I broke this thing. But someone actually gave me like levitation. Well, this mob here, I wasn't sure what it was at first, but it actually saved me because all of these wither skeletons started to spawn. But luckily I was up high now and they couldn't actually get me. So after breaking the spawners, I let some of my blue guys do the rest of the work, and then I went to loot. And the loot in these chests was pretty OP. So in there I had a diamond sword, but this one was the best one because it had 2 rings. It had a ring of speed and some diamonds actually. And there was also a ring of regeneration, so that was awesome. After collecting all the loot, I decided to mine my way back down to the bottom and went straight back home and enchanted my chestplate. And on day 88 to 89, coming back from my first house, I came across this massive hole that appeared out of nowhere. I had no idea what this hole was at first, so I decided to go back home and get rid of all my good stuff, but I didn't realise I had my 2 rings on me. So I went down there, and just to explore really, to see what it was. I thought it was maybe a dragon's den where a dragon came out. So there was a bunch of mobs, but I managed to actually deal with them pretty easily. There was only one monster that was a bit of a pain, and it was this flying thing here. I don't know what it was, to be fair, but he actually poisoned me. So after dealing with this guy and also the skeleton, I just pretty much torched everything up just so nothing else would spawn. And yeah, there was nothing down here really, so I have no idea what it was, but this happened.
Reptile ruckus. Scaly and scandalous.
And then yeah, I saw this guy up here, so I thought, oh no, this is not going to be good. Yeah, and seconds later, they all decided to attack me. So yeah, I got one hit by a baby as well. So at this point, I realized that I had my 2 rings on me, so I was pretty disappointed. I was going to run back there, but then I realized there was a bunch of mobs outside. So I made one of these things, a grave scroll. And if you hold right click, it teleports to your last death area. But yeah, unfortunately, those guys were still there, so I died straight away. But luckily, just like the spiders, they actually despawned pretty quickly, and I managed to go back down there and get both of my rings back. And on day 90 to 92, I decided just to prepare a bit for the dragon fight. I didn't really do much, so I just crafted myself a new bow, and I also just went back to doing some XP farming and then a bit of enchanting. And I also had enough shards to make myself another heart. And on day 93 to 94, I remembered that that tower had another one right next to it, so I decided to go and do that one as well. Straight away, I knew this tower was not going to be nowhere near as easy as the first one, because this one had a bunch of witches in it, zombies and vindicators. And also across from this one, there was another tower with a creeper in it and loads of TNT, so I didn't want to go in there. And shortly after trying to heal myself, this vindicator hit me in the chest and killed me. But I quickly managed to get my loot back, and then I decided to do like I done on the first tower and pillar up on the side of it. And also I did send in my blue guys just before I made it to the top. Then I quickly just destroyed the only spawner that was up there, and then I decided to loot. And there was quite a decent amount of loot. There was a lot of iron, that's for sure. But there wasn't that much diamond, but there was some diamond leggings, which was pretty awesome. And another regen ring. And before going home, I found this boomerang, so I decided to use it. And it was a pretty cool thing to find. And to end off the day, I just made my way home. On day 95, I crafted myself a nether portal because I thought I have to go to the nether at one point, because if I didn't go, I think people would roast me in the comments. So I made my nether portal and I put on some minimal gear. I didn't want to put on my best gear because I had a feeling it was going to be horrendous in there. And as soon as I got through the portal, I came across this guy. It was very easy to kill him because for some reason he didn't want to cross through the lava, even though he wouldn't die in the lava. It was very confusing. But then, yeah, I came across the most spookiest thing I've seen in Minecraft in a while. Just a guy standing on the cliff like that was so spooky. But then after, I was trying to mine to get some magma blocks, and then this guy popped out of nowhere. And he would not let me out of my little mine, so I decided just to wait a little bit, and then I just sprinted right out there and attacked him. And this is when it all went down here. These guys were insane, especially with the spiders and everything. I just could not do anything. After that, I made some liner for my boots so that I wouldn't freeze to death. And on day 96, I've done a bit of enchanting. I got a bunch of good enchantments, especially for the dragon fight. It would come in very handy. And then after that, I decided to go and look for some more dragon skeletons so I can get some more dragon bones. And also, I wanted some joust meat so I can actually make some avian treats. And quickly, I came across this guy, and he was huge. This skeleton was massive. I don't know how many bones I got in total, but I got a lot of bones. And as soon as I got home, I crafted myself a new sword, and after that, I decided to go and try and tame a rock. And that was pretty much it for day 96. And on day 97, I decided to go and try and do another one of these battle towers. So I just flew on my rock pretty much and just hit him with my bow myself. I didn't even actually spawn in that many of the blue guys. But I eventually managed to kill him myself, and yeah, I managed to get all the loot. But I had to get it really quickly because the tower was actually collapsing, because when you kill the boss, it actually collapses the tower after. So I got a bunch of diamonds, which was awesome, especially that I needed diamonds so I could make some more armor for the dragon fight. And then, yeah, I pretty much just looted the rest of the loot, and then I flew back home. And before ending the day, I crafted myself another heart. And on day 98, I managed to enchant my summoning staff with Unbreaking 3, so that was pretty awesome. And after that, I also enchanted another sword, and I got sharpness 4 on it this time. Actual sharpness 4, not lesser sharpness. And I decided to combine it with another sword that I enchanted, but I unfortunately did not actually record. After that, I went to go kill some of these guys because they actually dropped some wither bones, and I need wither bones to make wither shards so I can actually make some arrows for my dragon bone. After that, I decided to go and brew some potions, and it was time. It was time to defeat a RLCraft dragon. So I saw this green guy here, and I decided to drink up all my potions at once. I drank every potion I had, so strength, regen, fire resistance, and I also ate my notch apple just before going in for the fight. I also spawned in some of my blue guys, but they actually didn't help that much in the beginning, apart from in the end, actually they did. And I just went in for the fight. I just flew right in. I didn't really care if my rock died. I decided to just go in like this. And then eventually, he knocked me off of my rock, and then I had to fight him myself. And the fight ended up on the ground, and actually it was a lot better that it was on the ground, because then he couldn't actually fly away from me. But he was doing so much damage, even though I had protection for diamond armor and stuff like that. Eventually though, my rock decided to help as well, but he quickly died, unfortunately. And at this point now, I was getting extremely low health, so I used a med kit before going back in for the fight. And actually, that was a perfect thing to do, I think, because if not, I would have died. And then we killed the dragon. That was it. We killed the RLCraft dragon. I quickly got rid of some of the fire around the dragon because I was scared that if I dropped something, it would go into the fire. But yeah, I was so happy at this point. We finally killed a dragon. But my helmet did break though in the process. But after, I did get some of the dragon's blood, so I could actually make like some really cool weapons. I didn't actually have enough bottles on me, so I decided to drink the rest of my potions just so I could have a few more bottles that I could fill up. And then I harvested the dragon and headed straight back home just to end off the day there. And on day 99, I actually killed another red dragon, but unfortunately I did not record it. I am sorry, guys. But actually, this guy was a lot easier to kill for some reason. I don't know why, but the green one was a lot harder. And on day 100, I crafted myself some dragon armor with all the dragon scales we got. Unfortunately, I only had enough to make some green boots with the green scales. So I managed to enchant most of my armor, and after that, I decided to craft another dragon bone sword so I could make a flaming one, because you can't actually do it to an enchanted one. So I had to craft another one. So there you have it. I've made my flamed dragon bone greatsword. This thing looks so cool. I was so happy about it. So I had to go in F5 straight away, and it was huge as well. I forgot how big these things are. So after that, I just enchanted the rest of my armor, and that was pretty much it. And I did also enchant my sword. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.